Okay, so welcome to another edition of the Welsh Athletics Coaching Insights. Today I'm joined by former GB in Scotland Racewalk International, turned coach and official, Martin Bell. Morning, Martin.
Hi. Good morning. Hi, Liz. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to have you here. Before we start, there'll be a few people watching who perhaps don't know that much around race walking. Can you tell us a bit about the event?
Yeah, it's an endurance event, but unlike running, it's got a very large technical component. So it's a mash of endurance athletics, endurance events, long distance stuff, but also of field events. There's a huge technical proficiency level required and precision. So yeah, it's an event. You've got to try and make sure you comply with the rules throughout, or you're disqualified. And that is to try and maintain, as best as possible, human eye contact with the ground at all times with at least 1 foot, and to have your supporting legs straight at least through the early part of the stride motion contact point.
Yeah,
distances start at 1,000 meters and go up to 50 kilometers at the Olympics, and there are longer races elsewhere, 200 or 300, 400 kilometers, 600 kilometer races, just as with running.
Good. So touching on your time, probably first off as an athlete, you're quite late coming into athletics, is that right?
I did. I got into athletics about 19 and actually started race walking properly at 21. I did a couple of races before that, but local league stuff up in south of Scotland. But I went out to watch Commonwealth Games in '82 in Brisbane, and was at the track side of the road when the Welshman Steve Barry won gold, and decided I wanted to do it for the next Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh. So I started training when I got back from that in late '82.
Great. And you competed at a fairly high level as a race walker, I believe.
Yeah, I ended up doing 2 Commonwealth Games. I didn't do Edinburgh in '86. It was '94 in Victoria, Canada, and '98 in Kuala Lumpur that I raced. Best performance there was 7th in KL. And I competed with the GB team from '89 through to 1999, when I retired, just before I retired from competing.
Was it around 2000, I think you retired, wasn't it, Martin?
Yeah, beginning of 2000, February 2000. The week before the indoor track at Nyack opened.
Excellent. Bit of trivia there. So yeah, just talking a bit now about your coaching journey. Did you start coaching before you retired, or was it something you took up after retirement?
I started coaching almost straight away. So when I joined when I got into athletics, late 1980, and went on my assistant club coaching course back in 1980. The winter is 79-80 with Frank Dick as the lead tutor. He was Scottish national coach at the time. So yeah, and almost from then in my home club, or my old home club up at Annan in Scotland, I coached a variety of events, most events, right through until I came down to Wales in 1986, and then worked through under Malcolm Arnold through the club coach system up to level 4.
Mm-hmm. So currently, I know you coach quite a few, well, most racewalk athletes across Wales. Can you tell us a little bit about the coaching role you have at the moment and the kind of touch points you have with the clubs, etc.?
Yeah, it's not ideal, I must admit, but it's what we've got. Athletes are spread from Menai track and field up in North Wales down to Newport, Rhymney Valley, Aberdeen, Pembroke Harriers, Llanelli, Swansea, Neath, Cardiff. Who knows everywhere else, I think, at times. I tend to try and see most athletes once a week. Some I don't see. The North Wales I don't see as often, so I'd love to be able to see them once a week as well. It's just not physically possible, unfortunately. I tend to go around clubs. I coach 3 nights a week. Tend to be fairly set on most Tuesdays in Cardiff, but also Aberdeen once a month on a Tuesday. Swansea, Neath on Thursdays. I also work at the Bridge End Club on Mondays. once a month, and somewhere required, and asked to try and fit into clubs wherever possible.
Yeah, great stuff. You're also a level 3 race walk judge, so you're balancing quite a lot of commitments. How do you think that helps you as a race walk coach?
I think doing a bit of officiating the track or field, I think, is useful for all coaches, to be perfectly honest. It gets you a real knowledge of what the officials are looking for and how to prepare athletes for competition so that they can go into competition much better prepared, and you as a coach better prepared. You know the rules. I still think coaches, even in their own discipline, who don't actually know the rules and understand how the rules are applied. And I think that's almost a dereliction of duty as a coach. We should understand how the rules are applied. So I think it's useful for all coaches to do some officiating at some point. In the race walk, it's certainly very useful. I mean, I've got to coach people to race walk within the rules. If I don't know what judges are looking for, athletes, I don't necessarily know whether I'm coaching correctly and the correct techniques. So keeping an eye on that is making sure that my athletes know that I judge. Therefore, if they get it wrong and I'm judging, I'll put a card in for them.
Good. So you've been recently over the winter doing a race walk time trial series. Can you tell us a bit about why you started that up and kind of what happens during those events?
Yeah, we're looking to build on. At the moment, the youngsters are fine. They've got the Young Athletes League during the summer months, normally. That gives them 4 or 5 fixtures a year for races. It's an introduction, 1 kilometres. But there's not much else in Wales outside the tracks this summer track season. So we're looking at competition to try and encourage them to go that bit further so they can get onto the distances that they can start racing competitively in England and in the rest of the UK. And so 3Ks, 5Ks, 2Ks, whatever. So it was partly to do that, partly to get them together. So just as a good hard training session, if nothing else. So decided to put together some little time trials. So it's relatively low key. They can come along, they can choose the distance they want to do, up to 5 kilometers. So 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, it's a 1K loop. 2-3 judges. So we'll judge it, but we'll allow athletes to finish, but we can go through, if there's any technical issues, we can go through the athletes afterwards. So it takes a lot of the pressure off, as it's not a race as such, but it's a good competitive outing for them. They challenge each other, challenge themselves to improve, go a bit further, a bit faster. But the judges are there to try and make sure that they're not they're actually complying with the rules.
So it's almost become a little bit of an officials development event as well, essentially, where they get a bit of practice at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at trying to increase the number of walks judges within Wales wherever we can. Partly so I don't have to do as much judging. I still don't mind doing the judging in Wales, but at times, certainly if we get to things like Welsh Championships and Welsh Schools Championships, at times I would like to be sitting down and watching the race rather than just looking at athletes and not actually seeing what's happening in the race, because when you're judging, you can't follow the race. But yes, these can be there for help the officials develop certain walk strategies. But even if somebody else is starting off in timekeeping or something like that, it may very well be something that one of those judges just dipping the toe in because the numbers are quite low. It's low key. We'll go for a coffee afterwards. It's nice and relaxed. Yeah.
Good. So talking a little bit about the race walk scene at the moment. I mean, in Wales, we have 2 of Britain's best race walkers here. How important is that kind of inspiration for the young athletes coming through?
Oh, I think it's massively, massively important. I mean, as I said, part of my inspiration was seeing Steve Barry win gold medal in '82. So there was quite a nice symmetry with Bethan taking a bronze in the Gold Coast, but it actually stayed when I was in Australia back in '82. 2 years ago. No, it is 2 years ago now. Gosh. Yeah, but Bethan and Heather are 1 and 2 female ranked in the UK, both certainly aiming for Tokyo selection. they're both very approachable athletes. Most of the youngsters have had dealings with them at some point and get on well with them. They're really supportive of the youngsters. And it really does help motivate the youngsters to see what's going on. They know, certainly with Heather, they know she's gone all the way through the Young Athletes League to British Senior and International Commonwealth Games athlete. Bethan, slightly different pathway, but she did a little bit at early age, stopped, went some running, then go back into race walking again. But no, they're approachable, and I think that's one of the reasons why we've got a lot of young female walkers. We don't have a role model on the male side yet, and I think that might be detracting from getting more of the boys involved in the walking side of things. Yeah. So yeah, a male role model in Wales would be really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've seen over the last couple of years. Really, is that growth in the young female athletes taking up race walking and giving it a good go. Really. Yeah. Finally, Martin, you obviously, it's good to know the person behind the coach and the athlete. And you've told me a little bit about you studied zoology in university.
Yeah.
So you've got quite an interest in natural history. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's been my life. That's been my background. That's who I am. I'm a naturalist first and foremost. I've been since I could crawl. I've been absolutely fascinated with the natural world. So that was, for me, that's just second nature to me. I just get out and into the countryside and look at nature, all aspects of it and stuff like that. I just love it. It's just, and it's, for me, it's relaxing. It's time out. It's chill time. I love my athletics. I love like being around athletes. I love being around competitions and stuff like that. But just that time away up in the countryside by myself,
it's important.
It's my peace time. It's my recharge time.
Yeah, important to get that balance right, isn't it? Okay, just to finish off, Martin, we've done this with a few of the other coaches, and we're just going to do a quick fire round. So, just want you to give one word answer to these questions. Okay, don't think about it too much. Just a one word answer. Okay, so starting off, walk or run?
Walk.
Scotland or Wales?
Scotland.
Ooh, coffee or tea? I know we meet for
Depends
coffee.
on the time of day.
What's that, sorry?
Depends on the time of day. Coffee in the morning.
Okay, coaching or officiating?
Coaching.
Okay, Bosworth or talent?
Bosworth.
Yeah. Okay, road or track?
Road.
Okay, and shortbread or Welsh cakes?
Shortbread.
Fantastic. Quite a few Scottish answers there, Martin.
I may have been down here longer than I lived in Scotland, but I'm still Scottish.
Can't take the bite out of Scotland. Okay.
No.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Martin. It's been great chatting, and yeah, carry on all the good work you do in race walking and coaching throughout Wales. Thank you very much.
No problem.